All right, so I'm gonna be giving you my market update here for 2023. If you've been listening to the news, it has been all doom and gloom. Interest rates are going up. Are interest rates coming down? Is there gonna be a recession or is the market gonna crash? Who knows? Well, in this video, I'm gonna be giving you some great information that's gonna give you some confidence about what you should do here in the coming months. And the most important thing is, you need to know what's going on here locally. What goes on here in Midland doesn't necessarily happen in the rest of the United States. Most of the time you hear that the best time to sell your house is in the springtime or in the summertime. And so a lot of folks waited until the summer to sell their house. Well, if you did that this past year, our inventory started to go up starting in May. So May, June, July, inventory is just increasing, making it harder for sellers to actually sell, making it better for buyers because they're gonna have more choices to choose from. Now they're gonna have a little bit more time to actually make decisions. And not only that, the sales, the number of homes that actually sold, so during that time is actually gone down from June, July, and August, when normally those are our best times where the most activity is happening here in Midland. Not only were those numbers going down, but year over year, it was less as well. So let's concentrate here on the fourth quarter of 2022. So October, November, and December, the number of sales was actually down between 30% and 20% in those months, depending on which one you pick, October, November, and December. And so if you spoke to any realtors during that time, they probably had a look of concern on their face. Now, there are a few factors that were driving this, right? There was a lot of uncertainty for buyers. And so really interest rates shot up very, very quickly. So if you look at it here, they averaged out to about 7%, which is very, very high from where they were in the first and second quarter of 2022. So buyers really were starting to slow down. And I really think the slowdown came from interest rates going up so quickly. Not the fact that it was 7%, which is still high compared to where we were in the past, almost double, right? But there was so much volatility that buyers didn't know, they didn't want to make a decision for what they wanted to do. At the end of 2022, you got a few factors that were controlling things, right? We had supply was going up, we had demand going down, less sales, we had interest rates that were up and were slowly coming down. And these are all creating a firestorm of uncertainty, which also affects the demand as well. One of the key factors that also needs to be looked at is that year over year, actually prices have not come down. And so that's a little bit of a head scratcher for people, right? And so if you look here, the average sold price for 2022 was actually $369,000, when the average price in 2021 was $356,000. And so that's an increase of about $13,000 year over year. Now, the median price for 2022 was $322,000, while in 2021 it was $308,000. So we actually had less homes that sold, but pricing actually went up. And so you got to think about that whenever, for one, when you're looking to sell and when you're looking to buy. But if you're looking to buy, if you're waiting, you're actually getting priced out of the market. Interest rates were going up and prices were going up, even though there were less sales, right? All right, before we move on to what's gonna happen here next in 2023, if you are thinking about or looking to make a move here to the Midland area, you can reach out to us in any way that you like. You can give us a call, you can shoot us a text, we can schedule a Zoom, or even comment on this video down below. You'll find all of our contact information in the description, and you can always feel free to reach out. All right, so let's start transitioning over to 2023. As I said earlier, mortgage rates are slowly starting to trend down. Now, the Federal Reserve actually raised the rate, and so it's a little bit confusing. You have to pay really, really good attention now to what's actually going on with the rates, because you might actually have an opportunity here to make a move, especially if you're selling and if you're buying. So the Fed Reserve raised their rate and the mortgage rates actually went down, and they're slowly still starting to come down. And predictions are that they're probably gonna level out around the 5% range, somewhere in the 5% range for the rest of the year coming up here. Now, the other thing to look at here that is really, really crucial is the supply, right? Supply is actually starting to come back down. Most experts are saying that we're gonna have a crash. Supply is gonna have to go up and demand is gonna have to come down. Well, demand has been down a little bit, but supply, contrary to popular belief, has actually come down, and it's actually lower than it has been in the previous years. Here in Midland and around the country, builders are just not keeping up with the demand that we have. There's always been a shortage. We're lower as far as foreclosures compared to years in the past. It is not 2008. So everybody's still quoting 2008. Well, we don't have the foreclosures that we had from 2008. Sellers who were originally in the market, if they didn't sell, they're not forced to sell because they're not underwater. And if they can't move into something that is better, then they're not gonna put their house on the market. So to recap that, builders are not keeping up with the supply. Foreclosures are not causing houses to come on the market, and existing homeowners are not putting their homes on the market unless they're gonna be able to move into something else. Also with that, Midland is still growing. So there's more and more people moving to the area. We still have a lot of demand here, even though demand looked like it was going down. And the other thing I'll say is there's a factor that is not being reported on, and that's pent-up demand, right? There are people who have wanted to buy here at the end of 2022 or in the middle of 2022 that have actually not moved forward because of the interest rates, right? Well, now that rates are coming down, all of those buyers are gonna possibly come back into the fold to be able to make a purchase as well. So what does it actually look like for 2023 going forward? One thing that you are gonna see, Goldman Sachs, who everybody likes to quote, is actually starting to backpedal a little bit, and they're actually starting to change their home price forecast. So in January 10th, they were saying there was gonna be a reduction overall in home prices of 6.1%. Well, recently, they have changed that now to 2.6%. And so I think we are gonna see a little bit of a dip, right, in prices. But the thing is that as we look at this over a long span of time, this is gonna be a small blip on the meter here. And so it's gonna dip, but it's gonna go back up because interest rates are going down and more buyers are gonna come back into the fold. And so all of the price reductions you're seeing are those houses that were priced too high in the beginning. Homes that are priced correctly are still selling, and they're actually sometimes selling for multiple offers. Year over year, prices, the average price, median price is going up. So if you're a buyer, you need to get in. It depends on your situation, but I would get in sooner rather than later. Now, there is one thing I want to caution you about as you're listening to the news and you're getting your information. US foreclosure filings surged 115% in 2022. US foreclosure activity doubles annually. It is still below pre-pandemic levels. Foreclosure filings rose 115% in the past year. In the media, if it bleeds, it leads, right? The media is not trying to instill confidence in you to do things. They're wanting your clicks, they're wanting your eyeballs. And so make sure you know what these numbers actually mean. Yes, they did double, but in the grand scheme of things, it is not what it was in the past. If you're wondering what are some of the questions that you should be asking your realtor when you're making your next move, check out this video right here.